Up Late with Johnny Potenza is filmed in front of a live studio audience. Coming to you live from the city that never sleeps, New York City. It's Up Late with Johnny Potenza. Welcome the host of Up Late, Johnny Potenza.
All right. You're doing good, but you got to get the sync a little better. How's everybody doing on this Labor Day weekend? All right, welcome to the Up Late with Johnny Potenza show. It's great to see everybody here. And originally, we only had a half an audience, and then Sal, our chief engineer over here, chief manager, got us some more people. So thank you guys for coming. Give yourself a hand. Yeah. So that's it. Labor Day weekend. It was hot enough for you this summer, right? No. I think you were in the sun too long. So, but we got a really good show for you tonight. But like as I said last time, I got good news and I got bad news. So I'm going to give you the bad news first. We had comedian Richard Burns. He's a comedian. He opened up for Dr. Oz for 11 years, and he toured the East and the West Coast. Came down with COVID a couple of days ago. I don't know how everybody's still getting COVID, but he got COVID. Last month it was Johnny Brennan from the Jerky Boys got the COVID. So he'll be on next month. But we got a great lineup tonight. Anyway, the show must go on. My first guest up tonight, he's hailing from Queens. He's an actor, he's a director, and he's a writer. We have Gino Cafarelli here tonight. Come on. Come on, my grandmother makes more noise than that. Come on, let me hear. Our second guest up tonight, he's known all over the East and the West Coast. He's everybody's good friend, 101 FM, Brooklyn's own Joe Causi we got in the house. Yeah. All right, that's more like it. I mean, come on now. My grandmother does clap louder, and she's dead. My poor grandma, Grandma Connie. Like, she knows I love her. But for our musical act tonight, they're hailing from Staten Island. They were on the show, my late night show a couple of years back as Naked Jedi. They're here tonight as a John Collins band. Let's give them a late night welcome. Yeah, so, I mean, and that's it. I'm going to go sit down. We're going to talk a couple minutes. I got some free tickets to give away, and then we're going to get the show on the road, all right? Okay. All right, sounds good. All right, now let me explain something. When we do the P's, right, we used to have I'm going to tell you a funny story, and, you know, this is to show you. We had floor directors on and off for so many years, and they stay for a while, and then they go, they come back. But they had the audience going good. So it's usually like when I come out, everybody's clapping. Then once everybody stops, that's when the P's go on. So lately, like the last 6 months, it's like P, clap, P, P. You know, everybody's all over the place, but it's all good. We just recently had a guy on the show that we had to get rid of. He did 2 shows with us, and he was trying to run the show. And then he was insulting everybody. So I had to bring him down a notch, and then we wound up letting him go. So I got a dedicated crew and staff here. Mostly everybody here has been with me forever. So no one's going to insult my crew, right? Yeah. So he was asked to get his shine box in a nice way. So, but that's it. So what do we got here? Well, I got asked to promote our good friend Vito Piccone's show. Vito's going to be playing at the Garden State Arts Center. It's on September 13th. And we got Jimmy here. Jimmy, how do you say your last name? Vitali? What is it?
My name? Viteri.
Viteri. Jimmy Viteri. He brought us
Jimmy V.
Jimmy V. All right, we got Jimmy V here for Vig. If you don't pay him, you're going to collect the Vig. We got a bunch of tickets for Cousin Brucey's concert at the Garden State Arts Center for anyone that wants to go. It is on September 9th at 7:30, so afterwards you come see me. Who's going to be here? Frankie Avalon, the Tokens, the Drifters, and a couple other good cats. So these are some good tickets, and they're for free. So we got them, and what else we got over here? We got Johnny P. at the Garden. Oh, where'd you get these tickets? New Year's Eve. I didn't even know they were on sale yet. No, I'm only kidding. I wish. Okay, so yeah, that's a joke. So, so I bet you, whoever has kids in the audience, I bet you're glad that you got the kids going back to school.
Yeah.
Yep. What do we got? Like 2 people? Well, I got no kids, and I'm so glad they're going back to school. How's that? But, yeah, and that's it. The summer's over. I'm kind of sad. You know, I was a beach bum most summers. But here we are today, Labor Day weekend, last weekend of party, and it's supposed to be Indian summer. So I'm going to bring on my first guest right now. And as I said, he's hailing from Queens. He has a big resume. He's an up-and-coming actor. He's been in and out of a lot of different movies, like from The Godfather of Harlem, Tommy and Pam, and the list goes on. He's an actor, he's a writer, he's a producer. Let's give him an up-late welcome for Gino Cafarelli. All right. There he is. That's it. Coming down the red carpet, baby. Good to see you. Give yourself a clip over there, Gino. Yes, sir. Oh, nice and cool in here, right? I told you. Gino goes, should I wear a jacket? I go, it all depends. People are either freezing here or they sweat. It seems like they got the air conditioner down to a science now, which is nice. Is everybody cold or are they hot out there? All right, good. Well, Gino, I finally got you. What's going on, buddy?
How's everything?
Yeah, doing good. You know, day by day.
I always say this to my friends when I talk to Johnny Potenza. You know that Potenza is the city that my parents come from in Italy, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. They come from a city in Italy called Potenza. The region is called Basilicata.
Okay.
So the province is Potenza, but they come from a small paese che si chiama Pietrapertosa.
Okay.
But Potenza is the city, and every time I see or go to Italy and I see Potenza, I always think of Johnny Potenza.
Well, before we even met, you even told me a while ago, because you started a media company called Potenza Media, right?
Potenza Productions.
Potenza
1990.
Go figure, right?
Yeah. It was a theater company that specialized in murder mystery dinner theater. I studied acting, and then I started theater, and that's how I kind of got my feet wet, was, you know, theater. Mm-hmm. And then I was waiting tables, working a couple of odd and end jobs, and going to college. And so I did get a degree, but originally I went to school for pharmacy at St. John's. So I had the book smarts and the street smarts, and I wind up going in the middle and becoming, you know, an artist. But I finished with a business degree because I figured I'd have to get the degree, but my passions were always in the arts, in the creative world.
So what did your family say that you switched gears?
Well, I mean, again, back then I didn't know that, you know, usually, you know, if your cousin's doing it or if your neighbor's doing it, you have to do it, and kind of like you learn to like conform, or you conform back then. You kind of go, you know, what your parents are like, well, go to college, get a degree, and I did, but, you know, I really didn't see myself. There's nothing wrong with being a pharmacist. My sister became...
That's a great job.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic job. You know, they put the numbers on the board in college, you know, like I think back in 1987, I think the number was like 80K coming out of school. Yeah. And that's like, you know, if you graduated in like 91, you're making 80,000. I mean, that's
and that's like triple now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, definitely. Because pharmacists are making like $250,000 and more.
Yeah. So the second year, after the second year, I was like, nah, this is not for me. And I just went and got a business degree, started going to school at night, started working on and end jobs. Then I got into corporate America. But while I was waiting tables, I met a couple of guys that had a resort in the Catskills, and that was how I put on my first murder mystery show.
What was the name of the resort?
What was the name of the show?
No, the resort.
the Caravel Resort in the Catskills.
Okay.
I don't know if it's there anymore.
We used to go out on vacation out there back in the day with a bunch of places.
But the name of the actual murder mystery was called Arrivederci Don Potenza. So I used the city. So yeah, we wrote like a weekend kind of like murder mystery where, you know, at the end you kind of try to figure out who did it. But to circle back 30 years later, I'm actually bringing back kind of like that experience. I'm doing an interactive show in October at Calandras here in Jersey.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
So I know, as your resume, as I read it, after a while you kind of like got away from the acting and you got into like music, and then you coming up with the theme song for the Mets, right? And
well, it was for the Yankees.
Tell us about that whole story.
Well, back in
the Yankees.
1998, I was still working on getting my degree. I was working a corporate job, but it was one of those things that, you know, I kind of had my hands in just the creative, you know, whether it be radio or music or, you know, a theater, putting on plays. But Carmine Famigletti and Joseph Suma, aka Carmenucci and Joey Balls, we started kind of like a three comedic style musical group. But I was more kind of like the writer and the manager behind the scenes. And they wrote a song called 12 Days of Guido Christmas, which they still play on the radio today, which became like a #1 holiday hit. And Joe, who you have on the show today, played it many, many times back in the day. I don't think he occasionally plays it now when Christmas rolls around. But he was the first guy to play the bonus track on the CD because we sold it at St. Gennaro, which was called How You Doing?
Yeah, How You Doing?
And one of the Yankees coaches picked up the CD at St. Gennaro, and we wound up converting the How You Doing song, which was about growing up in like the 80s, to a Yankees How You Doing. We gave the Mets the opportunity to like kind of like.
That's why I got it confused. And do people out there remember that song, How You Doing?
With the Yankees. It was a New York Yankees song back in 1999, so.
Gino got a copyright, so he was the first guy to come up with that slogan, and then he put it on shirts. So
I was the first one. I was the first one to turn it into a product. I mean, they did mention it on Friends, which was great, but they never turned it into a product. So I actually was the first, or we were the first to convert it or make it, you know, into a product. We put it on a shirt. We sold it at St. Gennaro, and again, Joe and I and the guys, we were at St. Gennaro when he was doing KTU. We do live stuff out of St. Gennaro. But yeah, we were the first to actually make it and turn it into a product and make it a song. They won the World Series in 1999. We were like the mascots of the New York Yankees, and all three of us were Met fans. That was the joke with the Yankees.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and it's usually the other way around.
Yeah.
You're either a Met fan or a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
You never really get a New York guy that likes them both.
Yeah.
I like them both because I'm not like a diehard, but if I had to pick, I have to say the Yankees. But I like the Mets because they're the underdog.
Well, the Mets is the team to root for now. I mean,
the Mets have a better logo.
Well, let's go Mets.
Well, the logo itself, I like. I'm a logo guy.
Yeah, well, it is a nice logo.
It is.
It is a nice logo. They actually they changed it after 9/11 because they had the towers in the logo, and they actually changed it. But yeah, we were the first ones to make it an actual product, and we trademarked it. And so it kind of like, you know, years later became this thing, and we kind of got, you know, involved with other projects. Cause we were comedians, but we were more musical comedian guys, but we were really actors and filmmakers. So we kind of like left that behind a little bit because trademarking something and everybody was using it, it became one of those things where...
It got tired after a while? Maybe?
Well, it was nerve-wracking because a lot of other companies started putting it on shirts and started doing that
stress,
stuff.
It
was stressful.
Lawsuits and all that shit.
Yeah, but we signed a record deal, which was great. We signed a record deal with the company, and, you know, we got into a lot of companies that were shopping us for a record deal. Like, we were at Columbia Records, Sony Records. They were looking to pick up a comedy album. So we were actually, again, filmmakers and actors that just kind of like stepped in this like comedic musical world, and it just opened up a couple of doors.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, listen, as time went on, that's when you started getting back into the acting, I gather, right?
Yeah. I mean, I always kind of had it at, you know, at bay. You know, I wanted to finish my degree in school. I moved out to LA in 2006.
Yeah.
I didn't really go out to LA to be an actor. I was kind of getting my feet wet here in New York and in the tri-state area. I moved out in LA in 2006. I came back in 2012 to work on something, and then I wound up staying in New York. But I didn't go out. I left New York just to go to LA because you want to be in LA in February, March when there's like 6 feet of snow over here. So, I mean, that's kind of like, I just wanted to get out of New York for a little while. But it was nice because it was I circled back.
But you got your SAG card back in like 2002 around there, correct?
2002, yeah.
And that was from The Sopranos?
Yeah, it was one episode on The Sopranos. It was directed by a great director. He directed Leaving Las Vegas. He directed Internal Affairs with Andy Garcia. Mike Figgis. That was the only episode that he directed. I went in for the show once. I booked it that one time that I went in.
Did you go in an open call or so?
No, I had an agent I was freelancing with here in New York, and he was trying to get me in, and he got me in for that one audition, and I booked it. And people were like, you booked it the first time? Because I had friends going in for the show that were going in 10, 12, 14 times and haven't booked the show. I went in once, and they're like, you went in once and you booked it? I took a little risk in the room, so sometimes you take a risk. It pays off. So I took a risk when I was in front of David Chase and the director Mike Figgis and a bunch of the other producers. But it got me my SAG card. They wound up cutting my lines out. I didn't care. It got me my SAG card.
Yeah.
It's the opening shot of, I believe it's season 5, episodes. I don't remember the episode, but the name of the episode is called Cold Cuts.
Okay. No,
so I open up the shot. I'm sitting at the pier. It's a great experience. And it happens that the director had the same birthday as me, which was wild. It was crazy.
I did a bunch of Sopranos. background. I auditioned once. I forgot what it was. I got the slides home a long time ago, but there was so many people, and I wasn't even trained to really audition. But I went in on it. But I worked on a lot of episodes background. But I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that The Sopranos, even though it's a Jersey show, a lot of it was shot in Queens at Silver Cup.
Yes,
so that's when I had my callback. I went to Silver Cup when I walked in the room. Which doesn't happen now because everything's like, you do tape now. Every audition's kind of like tape now.
Yeah,
I haven't been on an in-person audition probably in close to 3 years.
You like it better or you like going in person?
You know what? I like being under pressure, walking into a room. Like when I walked into that room, I mean, you had like 15 people in there.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. I don't mind it because sometimes it brings out the best in you. But I like the taped auditions because, you could do a do-over and you could, you play it back and you see what you like, what you don't like, so.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. So listen, and moving on in time, you came out with a bunch of different independent movies, and then currently running into a lot of these new big movies and hit TV shows, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's still a grind, and, I just, my thing as a kid, I was very, ambitious and still am. Sometimes the fire goes out a little bit, but then it gets reignited.
Well, that's everything with that.
It's hard.
It's tough business.
It's a very tough business. Social media, I don't want to say killed the TV and film world, but it's a different world. You have the deck stacked against you when you get into the business. So I got into it 30 years ago. I've been doing it professionally for 20 years because that's all I do. I'm an independent artist, independent, filmmaker, actor. It takes time.
Well, we got a clip we're going to show in a little while. We got a little time left, but to name some of the movies, one movie that you put together was Cruise.
Yes,
correct?
that was a 10-year journey. That's what brought me back from LA. I shot a short story called Franny Lou, which was based on Francis Lewis Boulevard, where I grew up in Flushing and Whitestone in Queens in the 80s. And I met Rob Siegel through another film I worked on, big fan, which was at Sundance. Talked to him about Cruise, and that took 10 years to make. But that movie, Cruise, was recently on Hulu. It's on Tubi now.
Yes.
It's on Amazon.
I want to talk to you about the Bricklayer's Poet, right? That's one of your films that you made?
Yes, I directed and produced that. It was based on a play by Joe Maruzzo and my friend Catherine, who's like my sister.
Catherine Narducci.
Yes, Catherine Narducci, who's like a sister to me, but even more like, she's like I don't want to be cliche, ride and die, but she's an amazing person, as well as incredible artist and actress. But she's in that. She directed me in a short film, and then 10 years later.
What was that one called?
Dante's World. So she directed me in a short, and then I came back and directed her in a short film. I wanted to get my feet wet with a short film, because that's eventually what I really, like, my goal is to direct a feature film, which I'm currently in development writing right now. I want to direct.
All right, cool.
That's what I really want to do.
Let's show Catherine a plug. Catherine Narducci, for people who don't know, she was originally from the Bronx Tale, played Robert De Niro's wife, Charmaine from The Sopranos, and she was in The Irishman, and she's in everything. But real sweetheart. I got introduced from Gino, and she's actually a really sweet woman. So that's all I got to say.
An opening episode of season 2 of Euphoria.
Euphoria.
Which she
That's a
ass.
16.
Yeah, she's great.
16.
Yeah, she's great.
So now listen, Control Room. Why don't you roll that clip of Gino from Tommy and Pam?
Pam and Tommy.
Pam and Tommy.
Tommy and Pam.
Slam and
Same
Tam.
2 people.
Or Ham. Roll it.
Here you go, boss.
Fuck is this?
Starbucks. It's coffee from Seattle.
Popping up all over the country. From who?
Seattle.
Yeah, all right. No thanks. I'll stick with Italy.
Speaking of everywhere, that tape you bankrolled,
You must be raking it in. Mazel.
even Dominic has a copy.
Who?
Dominic, my 15-year-old, your godson.
Yeah, right.
That's Andrew Dice Clay, right?
Dice, yeah.
How was he
Dice.
working with Dice? I loved it.
Fantastic. He's got great stories.
I met him once on Staten Island in a book signing a while ago, but he was really cool. I would love to get him on the show.
He's got great stories. Yeah, like really great stories. He
Well,
was really...
I'm sure you saw him back in 19...
Well, I mean, that was the first thing I said to him. I went to both shows.
The
I think
Garden.
it was 2 at the Garden, right? I went to both of those
89?
shows. 89, 90?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so that was wild, to work with him. But he
Yeah,
was,
that must
he was
have been
great.
awesome.
Yeah, he was great.
So now, besides that, you're going to be in the second season of Godfather Harlem. You were in the first one. That's a great series.
No, I'm in the second season.
Just the second season?
Second season, Godfather Harlem, 6 episodes. It's on Epix, but it's on Hulu now as well. So
I'm telling
season
you,
2.
I'm going to fire my assistant for giving me all this information over here.
We got the wrong info.
The Irishman. Talk about The Irishman.
Where do I start with that? I mean, that was kind of a long process as well. That wasn't even though I'm in the movie in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I played Frank Rizzo, the
Yes.
mayor of Philadelphia. So the casting director Ellen Lewis, I originally read the book and I put myself on tape and gave it to my agent, and then they sent the tape in, just like me, doing my proactive work. She liked the tape, and she said that we showed Marty, and he loved the tape, but we want to call you in personally. So I went in and auditioned for Ellen Lewis, and it took a couple of months to hear back. She said I was up for 3 roles. She called my agent. She said, would he be interested in this, 5-day role, playing, the mayor of Philadelphia. It's got no lines, but Marty, does like him.
Yeah.
And with Martin Scorsese, you have to audition whether it's speaking lines or non-speaking lines. Like if you're playing like a political figure, a principal figure, he wants to see tape. He wants to see who's casting. So I was like, absolutely. I don't care if it doesn't have any lines. I mean, I sat on a dais with Al Pacino was on my left. I think Robert De Niro was on my right.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I was in and out, and I took some photo ops with De Niro's character. And I waved to the crowd. They introduced me as the mayor of Philadelphia. And it didn't wind up being 5 days. It wound up being 2 weeks.
That's great.
So it was like being in a playground. So I actually did that for no money. Not that,
just
but
to be there.
I'd be in a Martin Scorsese, film. So that was an experience. But again, that's kind of like putting your foot forward, and I'm very proactive.
You had
when
a
it
great
comes
part
to-
in that. I had 2 days as Wise Guy number 3. I was in the wedding scene. No
I saw it,
speaking
but you're predominantly, they show you when they pan the camera, you
Yeah.
got that Scorsese pan, and you got your Bellafaccio over there in the shot. So, I mean...
He goes, lick your lips. I go, why do you want me to lick my lips? He
You're in a
goes, lick your
Scorsese
lips.
movie.
I do this. I was like, okay, whatever. Listen, that's almost your time. You're an author, and your
Yes.
passion is writing books for kids.
Yes, well, during the pandemic, everything kind of shut down. So, I mean, TV, film world was shut down, and I always wanted to write a kid's book. Came up with the idea about 7 years ago. But when the pandemic hit, I kind of gave me a good way of like bearing down and writing, and completed writing a kid's book, and I published it a year ago. It's out. It's inspired by my daughter, and it's called Athena Visits the Marina, and it's my first kid's book, and I just packaged another kid's book called The Adventures of Connie the Purple Bus.
Oh, nice.
So I kind of fell into the kids' book world, but I actually like it. I really do. I think, when I'm kind of like, maybe retired, sitting in Italy somewhere, sipping on espresso, maybe I'll just kind of like write kids' books for the rest of my life.
Like, tell
But-
people before we sign you off, very fast. I mean, we all know the entertainment business, especially being an actor or musician, it's a tough gig.
Absolutely.
you're high one day and one day. But
Yeah, well,
but
I guess feast of famine, peaks and valleys. Yeah.
you've been doing a lot of stuff the last couple of years. I predict things. I'm not a guy that says I believe that Christ is coming, but when talent comes on my show, even like with Pete Davidson, I always knew he was going to make it. But I see a good future for you. Just keep going.
I appreciate it.
Write
Thank
your
you,
books,
yeah.
Gino. You've always been a great guy with me. Where can people find you on social media?
Just at Gino Cafarelli, and I got a couple upcoming, projects that I'm, working on now.
Good.
Great indie crime drama called Jersey Bread that'll be out in 2023. I got to be a producer on it, and got my feet wet. Started, being a casting director as well. So I love working with actors. So.
And then you got the one more thing coming out. So the Jersey Bread.
Yeah, Jersey Bread.
And who's in that we know?
Well, again, I
us,
used actors that usually, are kind of like in that world, but you don't see them a lot. You've seen them in certain things. There's Lorenzo Antonucci, Chris Tardio, Jeremy Luke, Sonny Marinelli.
I like Jeremy Luke.
Yeah, he's a fantastic actor. Myself, if I'm missing somebody, I'm sorry, but it's gonna be a real great, fun indie crime drama, kind of like old school versus new school, a little different. It's going to be good. It'll be out in 2023.
Good luck, Gino.
Thank you, John.
I want you to come back and see me again one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're going to go do what we talked about on the day.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy. Everybody,
Absolutely.
Let's give it up for Gino Cafarelli. All right. For the man we've all been waiting for, he's from WCBS FM 101, radio personality, Brooklyn's own Joe Causi.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up,
buddy?
Big Joe? How you doing?
I love this. You got bells, buzzes, hammers, everything there.
This is if I could hit someone in the head.
Yeah, you hit me in the head.
You remember when you were here years ago, you grabbed it and you went like this?
Yeah.
You did, because I had to watch the old clip the other day
all
to
right,
make sure
okay.
we didn't talk. How you doing, buddy?
That's why I haven't been on in 10 years, because I hit you with a hammer.
I can't believe it was 10 years Joe was on. But we've run into each other all the time, and you're always doing a plug for me. And we saw each other at the Soprano Con, and you did an interview there. So it's like, we can't wait too long to have you on next time. You have to like make a yearly
You never
visit
know what
over
tomorrow's going to be.
here. That's what my mother says.
You never know.
So what's going on these days with you, buddy?
Been running around all over the place. I mean, on the air every night on CBS FM, 101.1. Doing a lot of shows all around. I've got a lot of things booked up through 2024.
Yeah, that's great. I know. Get the life.
Stuff in Florida I'm doing, a couple of shows in Fort Lauderdale coming up, out on Long Island. St. George Theater, we do a lot of stuff from there.
Yes.
So we're always out in front of the public eye. You know?
Everything's always busy. Every time I see Joe on there, I inbox him. I go, hey, you got the life. I go, let me know when you're going. I would love to come with you. Does the missus come with you a lot of times?
Sometimes. I try to get here tonight. She didn't want to come.
Yeah.
Because we're going away to Aruba next week.
Oh,
so.
cool.
Because I got to get my stuff in order.
She said, that's all I need to see that Johnny P tonight.
Last time I saw you, we were buying cold cuts, remember?
Yeah, that's right. Where were we?
I think we were in the pork store or something.
Was the family fruit? Not family
I
fruit. Top Tomato Scotty's. I think we might have been there.
Could have been there. You're just plugging away. You're throwing the plugs out. Look at you. Scott, in 30 seconds, you got Scotty's, family fruit. You got like a money drawer underneath there?
No, forget it.
All right.
Forget about it. The only one that we plug is Nucci's Restaurant, the best
Love
food on
Paul.
Saturday, right?
Paul's a good friend of mine.
I was in there earlier, and I had a drink with him fast, and I said, I got Joe Causi on the show tonight. He goes, oh, Joe, I love Joe. Go tell Joe I said hello.
Do you know that Paul is a huge Blacklist fan?
No.
Like, people go crazy over TV shows, like soap operas and stuff. He's like immersed in the show Blacklist. He goes to conventions.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like I
Wow.
says, it's like he's not the last guy you expect to be like that.
Yeah.
But too funny. We were talking about it for hours.
Now, Joe, you originally, like, we're going back when you were a kid in school. You were like a class clown, right? You used to imitate all your teachers and everybody else. How did that come about?
When I started, like in elementary school, I used to start doing all that kind of stuff. And my music teacher told me that, I just found a letter that she sent to my parents in the 6th grade. And she says, I have to tell you, says, I don't know what your son is going to do when he gets older. Now, you're talking about a kid in elementary school.
Yeah.
But I know that he's going to be into something in music, whether singing, playing, or something, but he's going to be surrounded by music, she told my parents. And when I was in elementary school, I was in Bye Bye Birdie. I did the Broadway thing, Bye Bye Birdie, in school. You know, a kid production. When I was in college, I went to broadcast school after college, and I says I wanted to get into radio. She found out years later that I was in broadcast school. She reached out to me and says, I know someone that owns a station in Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
Would you want to go there? There I was, 19 years old. I hop on a plane. I go to Hibbing, Minnesota, home of Bob Dylan and Roger Maris. And it was just snow and trees and snow and trees. But I had to get my feet wet, went out there, and that was my first radio gig. And still, a couple of years ago, I kept in touch with her.
Oh, wow.
And she recently passed away, like 91 years old.
Oh, wow, that's a shame.
And she was the start. She got me my first break.
See, that's good when you keep in touch with the people who gave you your start.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget about those people, but that's good because it's, you know, it's like a good friendship.
A matter of fact, I was at I did this thing at San Gennaro like I do every year for the feast. And it was like, I think maybe 5-6 years ago, I'm on the stage and I look out in the audience. There was like 2,000 people on Mott Street. And who do I see standing there watching me? Her.
Oh, wow.
And I made 2 guys go down, bring her up on stage, and I introduced her on the air to the crowd. You know, it's my way of giving back.
No, definitely, man.
Giving back. That's why you always be good to your teachers. You know, any teachers out there? No, don't teach. Yeah, we got a couple.
One
of teachers.
person?
Yeah, my whole family's teachers. My
wife,
really? My daughters, my son, everybody. They're all teachers.
Did you go to? Wait, let me just see. You graduated from CSI, but where did you go for like elementary school and?
In Brooklyn, Bay 50,
okay.
PS 212. I remember going home when I was in elementary school, and the teacher called the house. They would call the house when you left the school. So as soon as you left, they would call. So by the time you got home, your parents knew that you were in trouble. And what a beating I got one time. I said, but they don't do that anymore. Yeah, they're afraid, you know.
But you can't beat up people no more.
Oh,
the kids.
Yeah.
My father, like we were talking about that before, the old school, you get the belt. But my mother used to get the wooden spoon and crack it across my face.
Yeah.
You can't do that no more.
I tell my kids this. It may be 2022 outside, but inside here it's 1956.
Oh, you know
what I mean?
Yeah. My in-law family, when the kids and the grandmother's old school, she's like, I want to just punch your face and knock your face. She goes, I'll call the cops on you. She goes, I don't care. I'll go to jail. I'll come back out. I'll crack your face again. She tells her.
Did Joe Pesci say that?
Yeah. But that's what she said. That was in Casino.
Yep. Great movie. Great movie.
So now the San Gennaro feast is coming up very soon, right?
Yep. Coming up a couple of weeks.
You got any inside information to share with us? Or?
I'll be there on the 24th of September. I'll be there. And we bring a lot of people, I like to bring like local people on, not established, to give them a shot. Get in front of 2,000 people.
Now you got a lot of events coming up. You got the St. George Theater, a bunch of stuff.
We have a disco show coming up.
Roll them off.
September 16th, a big disco show coming up there. We have November, a big freestyle event, St. George. That's what's great about St. George Theater. Every weekend there's something else happening there.
It's the best place on the island.
Yeah. We have a huge end-of-the-year concert at the Westbury Theater out in Long Island. That's happening on the 30th of December. Then I'll be in Florida in the beginning of January, working out there, doing a couple of shows there. So I'm all over the place.
And how's the Villa Roma been these years?
Villa Roma is great. I love going to the Catskills.
I know. Listen,
I love it.
We used to go to, I don't know if you ever heard of it, it's called the Villa Baglieri.
I used to go there.
I used to go, my whole family went there.
I used to go there, yeah.
And that's when Villa Roma was the mom and pop, just like that. And then now they went huge, corporate.
Yeah.
But the Villa shut down.
We used to go to all those places: Villa Baglieri, Villa Maria,
Wolf's. Remember
Rosehaven.
Wolf's Maple Breeze? That was like up in Highland, New York. We would go like we all did, all our uncles and our cousins.
Yeah.
It was the greatest vacations ever.
Back then, you used to get in the car, drive up to the mountains, and you look forward to that for the summer. That was your vacation.
Yeah.
You went upstate. Like I hate to fly. Hate to fly. I hate getting on lines and TSA and this and taking off your shoes, ripping off your belt. I hate it.
No, I know.
You know?
It's like
I'm a cruise guy. I like going on boats.
I love cruises myself.
Yeah.
Did you ever do any crazy stuff when you used to go away when you were a kid? Like we used to rob a trailer. We used to let the horses out.
Nah, couldn't do that. Couldn't do that. My father had a big noose around me.
Oh, yeah, did he?
Yeah.
And they couldn't hold me back.
Wouldn't even think about it. Wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah, John. That's what they used to call me.
Yep.
Now, your son, very active with his band.
Yep, on Staten Island.
And we're going to have them on the show in the future. I've been touching base with your son, Anthony, through text.
Yep. Oh,
So-
good.
In 2013.
Did he get back to you?
He did, but we
right.
didn't get to talk on the phone yet.
All right.
But I told him I'm booked. Right in the beginning of 2023, we're going to get him in.
Yeah, he's got a big band, 10-piece band.
Great.
A lot of brass. Great singing, and they do a lot of corporate stuff, a lot of weddings.
See, that's the type of band I like to get in. A corporate band, a band that's doing weddings, a band that's making money. Because I mean, you know the deal, the music
and
business.
they have fun, and
Yeah,
they're all
they have good
and they
fun.
all have regular jobs, and they have fun.
They're young still.
Right.
You get guys that are older. It's a hard thing just to do
get
that.
out.
You got to
Right.
have another job.
And he just did Stevens Talkhouse out in the Hamptons.
Oh, wow.
And you never know who walks in there.
Oh, everybody goes over there.
Right. Paul McCartney's in there one Saturday night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett's in there another time. Billy Joel. It's crazy, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, so I said, one time you'll do it. You never know who'll walk in, you know?
I know you met a lot of celebrities, shitload of people through all the years. We talked about this last time. Olivia Newton-John, you have any good memories with her?
Well,
'Cause I know you did the Grease stuff a bunch of times. Did you ever get to meet her?
Yeah, not living, just like not personally, it's at the location, but there was like so many other big people, like Lionel Richie
Yes.
and Michael Jackson. We did a show with Michael Jackson at the Garden.
Okay.
And this was pretty cool. We're on stage, and we were waiting for him to come out. He drove behind stage, like behind a curtain, with a Suburban. Like you could do that at the Garden.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's like, you can drive cars behind the stations. That's how big it is. And he just opened up the door, came through the curtain, said hello, did a little moonwalk, said goodbye, went back to the curtain, got back in the car, drove off.
And that was it?
That was it. That's all the people wanted to say.
But he wasn't in concert or nothing? He
Nope,
just came
he
out?
was just it was like a favor of
Oh, wow.
the program director. They were very close. They were close. But we had Donna Summer that night, and Mark Anthony, and Lionel Richie. A lot of big performers.
Who was your favorite out of them all, if you had to say?
Classiest guy had to be Lionel Richie. Yeah, good guy. I mean, he had a couple of problems in the news, but but some of them, they all do. But really, sweetheart of a guy, good guy.
Yeah, man, that's a good lifestyle you got there. I mean, do you have a set date of retiring, or are you just going to go until the end?
If I could get up every day and do it and make people smile and have, that's all.
Look at Joe Franklin.
Well, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be 99 years old to do it, but I don't feel my age.
None of us do. Who does?
I don't feel my age. I run around like a crazy person all day, You see me.
Yeah, go down. We see each other at the
Here,
bakery.
running here, running there. I'm everywhere, and that's what it's all about, having fun.
Hey, listen, it's the only thing we could do. Life is short. You never know what.
That's right. Now I'm trying to pursue that whole movie thing, like with Gino.
Yeah, do it.
Man. I'm trying to get into that.
And you know the deal. A lot of people say, well, you know all these people. How come they can't help you? You know all these people. How come they can't help you?
Yeah.
And you know the situation. You can know everybody, but that person has like a limited amount of favors that they could do for somebody.
That's
So
right.
then they got their sons, someone's related to somebody, friend, a favor. So those favors are gone.
And I know so many people, when I worked with Vinny Pastore
He's a good
and
friend of
Steve Van
mine.
Zandt from The Sopranos, we had a radio show on Sirius called The Wise Guys
Yeah,
Show.
that was a great show.
And we had everybody come in on that show, from Tony Danza to Danny DeVito to Sylvester Stallone. Every week we had someone else like that. High-profile guest.
How was Sylvester Stallone?
He was great. I was expecting this big guy.
No, I know.
I was towering over this guy. I felt, let's do it. Let's mix it up a little bit.
Well, you're a tall guy, but what is he, like 5'8", 5'7"? Like he's like
Yeah, I mean, I'm 6'5", and I was looking down at him.
my height.
Yeah, I wish I was short like you.
I could get into a lot of places. God gave me hair. He didn't give me height.
It's hard when you're this tall,
No, I hear you.
It's hard to get clothes. My shoes, forget it. I'm a size 14.
Wow.
Forget about it. And they bang you out. They bang you out for stuff like that.
Double the price.
Yeah, everything's double. You know, you got to pay more leather, you know.
Yeah.
But it's all good. It's all
Good, Joe. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on the show, and hopefully I'll see you real soon. I'll definitely see you at the San Gennaro
Come,
Fest. I am.
come. Yeah,
I want to
let's-
bring my uncle with me. He's going to be 90 next week.
Okay.
So
We'll
Uncle,
do a couple of cigars.
his
we'll
name
go
is
around
Uncle
the
Junior.
corner.
They call him Uncle Junior.
No.
Yeah, he's the original Uncle Junior, and his son is my cousin Vinny. So go figure.
Isn't it great when you walk around the feast?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so great. Some of the stores there, I love it, you know.
I miss the old cha-chas.
Cha-Cha is a good
And that
friend
was your
of mine.
good friend of
Good
yours.
friend of mine. Miss him a lot. But there's one store there called E. Rossi. I don't know if you've ever been in it.
I heard it, but I've never been.
It's right on Mott. It's on Mott. Oh, it's on Grand and Mulberry, right off of the corner. And you walk in this store, it's like you walking into a time tunnel, and you're back 100 years. Everything in the store is old Italian stuff. Whatever you want for the kitchen, Italian memorabilia, coffee cups, whatever you want, coffee pots.
yeah.
And the guy is such an awesome guy. And they're trying to squeeze him out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're trying to squeeze him out of the neighborhood. And I try to help this guy as much as I can. And if you're at the feast this year, go to E. Rossi. Tell him I sent you.
I will.
And buy whatever you can from
E.
the guy.
Rossi.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, I heard they're trying to squeeze you out of town.
You know what I'm trying to say. You know, the Mama Lukes are coming in, trying to take over.
So I got
you
a
know.
couple of guys for the right
Yeah.
price will help you out.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You try to help people out, right?
No, that's the best thing to do, Joe. But
Yeah,
yeah, thank you. You know, you've always been a gentleman to me, and you've been doing a lot of great stuff for New York City. Keep doing it.
Thank
Joe
you, buddy.
Causi, everybody. Yeah. Have a seat.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. Joe Causi, Brooklyn's own. And he lives on Staten Island. Go figure.
Go figure.
That's what it is. All the good guys come from Brooklyn. All right, for our musical guest for tonight, as I said, the handler from Staten Island. Let's give it up for the John Collins Band.
Start my day, then I stand around, patiently waiting for the sun to go down. I touch tone on the telephone. I give my baby a ring. She don't want to be alone. Then she starts to sing. Make me feel better, make me feel right. Keep my loving strong into the night. Keep my loving true, keep up the fight. Keep my loving strong into the night. Street corner rendezvous, where no one knows like me and you. I started the car, the night is young, the moon is full, and we'll have some fun. She don't want to be alone, and then she starts to sing. Make me feel better, make me feel right. Keep my loving strong into the night. Keep my loving true, keep up the fight. Keep my loving strong into the night. Make me feel better, make me feel right. Keep my love strong until the night. Keep my loving true, keep up the fight. Keep my loving strong until the night. Make me feel better, make me feel right. Keep my loving strong until the night. Keep my loving true, keep up the fight. Keep my loving strong until the night.
Yeah. The John Collins Band, formerly Naked Jedi, and we got the boys right here. What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
How are you?
Pleasure to be here.
You're looking good.
So are you.
You know.
I like the new format. I love what you did with the place. The curtains look awesome.
You know how old these curtains are? They're probably as old as me. I'm only kidding. No, everything is cool. Everything is cool. So what's going on with you guys these days?
Just doing some, doing some shows, doing some cover stuff, doing some original stuff. I just want to say one thing. Last time we were on your show,
Your hair was black.
my hair was black, and Ken Kelly was on.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
recently just passed away this year. I just want to,
Yeah.
a little shout out to
Great guy. What a great guy.
Ken Kelly, fantasy artist. He was best known for the Kiss Destroyer, and Kiss Love Gun.
Album
and
covers.
then what was all the other ones that
Didn't he
did?
do Manowar?
He did
Manowar.
Manowar's
Manowar,
album
yeah.
cover. So let's give Kenny a hand. Yeah.
Also a Marine.
Also a Marine. Great guy.
Yeah.
That was a good night. And we have Robert
great.
Clohessy from Blue Bloods
Oh, he was great too.
on the
Yeah,
show.
he's good.
He's coming back.
Oh, cool.
He's
That's
coming back. So now listen, you guys got new originals out. Now what's the deal? How come you call the John Collins Band now? No more Naked Jedi.
So, I don't know. Steve and Vinny have been saying for years, let's change it. Let's do the John Collins Band. And I was like, nah, let's stick Naked Jedi. I guess I got to a certain point just before COVID.
Yeah.
I kind of grew out of the Naked Jedi too, and I thought it was cool. And then we started the John Collins Band. I think the first gig was at O'Connelly's on West 45th.
See, me and John go back a long time because we're both in the music business. I mean, they're active. I mean, I still play, but going back into the 90s, he had this original band called Hearts on Fire.
Yeah. Going back, yeah.
Going back in time. So, yeah, it seems like yesterday. So now, talk about this thing that you're doing with the Juicy Lucy. You're playing with Peter Barron on the side, doing another band?
I'm playing with Peter Barron doing like a covers thing.
Okay.
It's a small thing. We're just doing the clubs.
Okay.
But as far as Juicy Lucy goes, on October 2nd, he's doing a tribute to Leslie West,
Yes.
the band Mountain.
And we got a bunch of tickets right
Doing
here.
ticket giveaways. With Corky Lang and a few other people. Joel Turner is really pushing it, believe it or not. That's really cool.
Is he going to be there that night?
I hope so. He's not in the United States right now. But neither is Corky.
Let's ask the audience. Does anyone in the audience know who Corky Lang is? Yeah. Who? Speak up. Okay, Corky Lang is the original drummer from the band Mountain. Leslie West from the hit song, I'm sure you all heard of Mississippi Queen, right?
Mississippi Queen!
Yeah, there you go. So Corky Lang's going to be playing with Peter Barron, and we got free tickets here.
And we're opening for them.
And they're opening for them, and I'm going to come down too.
All right.
I get unlimited drink tickets, right?
Yeah, I have to talk to the bar manager.
All right.
That's me.
I shake everybody down that comes on my show. So what do you expect tonight? A good turnout or what?
I hope so. We're getting lots of feedback. Peter Barron's been interviewed at least 4 times from people all over the place. The Mountain Fan Club is taking a lot of hits.
All right.
He's getting phone calls from people he hasn't seen in 30, 40 years that they're going to fly in for the show. So hopefully it's a good turnout, and he's feeling really good about it, Peter Barron, because now he's looking to book another place in Long Island somewhere to do the same thing.
So you guys tell the audience about Peter Barron, about some of his background.
Peter,
he looks like he doesn't know nothing.
No, he's been around for a long time.
Okay,
Grew up
go.
in the city, I think, late 60s, early 70s.
I know Peter a long time. Peter was best friends with Michelle's uncle. And one day, and I always knew who Peter Barron was. And then one day, like in 2006, I go to the party and Peter Barron's sitting back there. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, what are you doing? He goes, I know Yak. He goes, oh, that's my best friend from kids. And then that was it. But yeah, Peter's a good guy. I'm glad that when
he produced my first cassette when I was 15.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I know Peter a long time.
I'm glad that Peter doesn't like to talk. It's hard to even get a word out of Peter when you talk to him. But no, he's a good guy, Peter. We'll be seeing you soon. So what's going on in the future? You got recordings coming out, I heard, possibly for the band?
Yeah. Steve.
Yeah, we had an idea years ago to do a kids show.
Okay.
And then since coming on your show, today, kind of like churned up the ideas for the kids show again.
All right.
And that's something that we're, seriously thinking about. We had some storyboards back in the day, some like good fun ideas. And that's something that we're, in the process of rekindling.
All right.
And we look forward to that.
And what about the drummer?
Scoring movies too.
Can you concur?
Absolutely, yes.
And you know, I didn't even know, I didn't even put two together, that your sister's Michelle. Yeah. And his sister cuts my hair every now and then. And I know, that's how, like...
I said how long I knew you, and just never put it together.
We never put it together. And she's a great, great woman. Future dates, shows besides this?
Well, we're getting involved in a horror movie.
Yes.
With Tamara Glynn from Halloween 5.
Okay, cool.
We're going to do the music in it. I'm going to be acting in it also. So we're looking to continue just doing our music wherever we possibly can. You know, we've been off Broadway with our music. We've some other movies with our music.
Cool.
We're trying to do a drinking commercial with our music.
Yeah, well, that song you got, what's that called?
Alcohol's for Me.
Yeah, that's a great song. But people that don't know, John was the Staten Island Clown, if you remember that years ago. You remember that big thing? John was on the show. He was the Staten Island Clown. That's when they were promoting the movie. What movie was that?
Abnormal Attractions.
Abnormal, and that was song with Craig Loigrin, a friend of ours?
Craig Loigrin. It has Malcolm McDowell,
Yes.
Ron Jeremy, Gilbert Godfrey, and a slew of other people. And you can get it on Amazon.
Yeah. All right, well, listen, I hope you guys come back and see me within the next couple of years, but I'll be seeing you before you come back here.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us on.
Always great.
Anytime, John.
Thank
You
so
know,
much.
I tell everybody, I go, you know, John Collins is one of the nicest guys in the music business that I know, because he always gives everybody a lot of love and a lot of support. And every time I talk to you, you always have kind words to say. And anybody that ever says anything that you say always has kind words, and that means a lot to me. And keep being like that.
Thank you.
We need more people like you in this
about you.
world. Yeah, but I'm a little rough around the edges.
That's all right. Get to know you just to love you.
That's it. That's what it is. All right, the John Collins Band. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. As I said, we got, so whoever gets them to me first, I'm going to keep two of them because, you know, that's that. So we got about a dozen tickets for Peter Barron at the Juicy Lucy. Richie Holmes,
Yes,
a good
Richie
friend of ours, and we're going to be doing actually a cooking segment with him whenever we set it up. And this is October 3rd at 3 p.m., tribute to Leslie West. Be there. I'd like to thank everybody for coming down. Follow us on social media, our website, johnnyptv.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. And that's it. I'd like to thank Paulie from Nucci's Restaurant, from always supplying all the food for all the years. Thank you, Paulie. And just everybody get home safe. Have a great Labor Day. And I'll talk to you soon. Good night.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead you? Who'd have thought they'd lead you? Back here where we need you. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back.